Hi folks, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the village manager for the Village of Villa Park, and today's another one of my segments where I'll be discussing an upcoming board meeting agenda. So today's segment's going to be talking about September 9th's board meeting agenda. So folks, let's start. So on Monday, September 9th, we have a public hearing at 6:45. And so I'm going to read a little bit about the background of the public hearing, and then at 7 o'clock we'll start with the formal board agenda. So at 6:45, Monday, September 9th, there'll be a public hearing, and it's the public notice is hereby given that the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, will hold a public hearing on September 9th at 6:45. The hearing will be held at the Village Hall, Board Chamber, second floor, located at 20 South Ardmore Avenue, Villa Park. And the purpose of the hearing is as follows. The Village of Villa Park will apply for funding assistance for two proposed projects under the Community Development Block Grant Program. The first is the Harvard Avenue Water Main Project. The second is the Third Avenue Combined Sewer Separation Project. In preparation for these applications, the village will hold a public hearing focusing on the proposed projects and the grant program. So folks, that's what happens at 6:45 is we'll describe both of those projects and that we're submitting applications to the Community Development Block Grant Program. And then we'll start the program at 7 o'clock for the formal board agenda. And so let's start the agenda now. So at 7 o'clock on Monday, September 9th, the formal agenda is as follows. So number 1 is the call to order, the roll call. Number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3 is public comments on agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium, be recognized, and comment on items that are on the formal agenda for Monday, September 9th. Number 4 for Monday night is amendments to the agenda. And folks, that's the appropriate time for the president or board of trustees to revise the formal agenda for Monday night. Moving on is number 5, consent agenda. We do have a couple items. We have 5A, which is minutes from the board meeting held on August 26th, 2019. We have 5B, which is bill listing for the weeks of August 26th and September 2nd, 2019, in the total amount of $742,660.74. So moving on to number 6, which is second reading on ordinances to be codified. So we have 6A. We have second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, increasing the number of Class D package licenses for the package sale of alcoholic liquor. So folks, the background for this particular item is that the business located at 609 West North Avenue is changing from U.S. Liquors to Crown Liquors. I'm going to switch my pages here. The new business owners of Crown Liquors have successfully completed the background check. This ordinance will replace a Class D full package grocery or drugstore license that will be eliminated upon the closing or sale of U.S. liquors. There will continue to be 8 total Class D licenses and 64 total liquor licenses. So folks, what's happening is U.S. Liquors is selling their business to Crown Liquors, and when they do that, U.S. Liquors' Class D liquor license is eliminated, and then Crown Liquors must apply and be granted a Class D liquor license. And so if that's approved Monday night, because this is the second reading, there'll continue to be 8 total Class D liquor licenses and 64 total liquor licenses in the Village of Villa Park. So it's just one business is selling to another and still going to have a Class D liquor license. So moving on to 6B for Monday night is a second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code setting fees for liquor licenses. So folks, the background on this item is that the application and renewal fees for liquor licenses have not been changed since 1992. For nearly all classes of licenses, Villa Park has the lowest fees of all of our surrounding communities. Staff recommends updating the original issuance fee and annual renewal fees for our liquor licenses, which will bring our liquor license fees to approximately the average of the immediate area. So going forward, the liquor license fees will adjust annually with the CPI. So folks, as I just mentioned, our liquor license fees have not been adjusted since 1992. And with this second and final reading, if this is approved, we'll raise or increase, if you will, our liquor license fees and the renewal fees. So what we did is we did a survey of our surrounding communities, and the recommendation from staff is to adjust our current fees to the average. So we're not the highest, we're not the lowest, and we'll just be right in the middle. And we think that's fair. And then on an annual basis, the fees and renewal fee will be adjusted with the CPI index. So moving on to 6C for Monday night is a second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Appendix C of the Village Municipal Code, providing for the regulation of signs. At the direction of the Village Board, the Zoning and Planning Commission held a public hearing on April 11, 2019 on a text amendment that would add electronic billboards as a special use in the zoning ordinance. This item was continued for additional information, and on June 13, 2019, the Zoning and Planning Commission unanimously recommended against the text amendment. After this item's first reading on August 26, 2019, the Village Board requested the ordinance be revised to only clarify what types of signs require permits. The ordinance has been adjusted accordingly. Should the Village Board wish to approve this text amendment, they should approve the attached ordinance. So folks, what happened was that the Village Board on August 26th did not wish to allow electronic billboards on Roosevelt or North Avenue. And so what they want to do is they want to modify the text in the ordinance to talk about what type of signs require permits, and that's as far as they wanted the ordinance to go. And so that's what we did. So Monday night, that ordinance be provided, just clarifying what type of signs require permits. So moving on to number 7, which is ordinances, we have 7A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a special use for an electronic message display panel at Willowbrook High School, located at 1250 South Ardmore Avenue. So folks, the background on this is that Willowbrook High School wishes to erect a new sign at the northwest corner of Ardmore Avenue and Reardon Road. This sign includes an electronic message display panel which, because it is located on a residentially zoned parcel, requires approval of a special use. Following a public hearing before the Zoning and Planning Commission, commissioners unanimously recommended approval of this special use. So folks, this is the electronic panel display at Willowbrook High School that's currently there now is going to be removed, and they want to replace that with a 10 foot by 10 foot electronic display message board, if you will, and then that would be 27 feet behind the curb, so it would be located to the west of the curb by 27 feet. And so that was unanimously approved by the Zoning and Planning Commission to approve the special use and allow that to occur. So now the recommendation of the Zoning and Planning Commission comes before the Board of Trustees for final approval. So moving on to 7B, we have an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a special use for an electronic message display panel at the Villa Park Library located at 305 South Ardmore Avenue. So folks, the background for this item is that the Villa Park Library is seeking approval for a new sign that includes an electronic message display panel. As the library is on a residentially zoned parcel, a special use is necessary. The Zoning and Planning Commission held a public hearing on this item and by a vote of 7-1 recommended approval of this request. So folks, 7B is very similar to 7A, which is the Villa Park Library would like to have a electronic message board as well. And if you've driven by the library recently, you've noticed that it's already sitting there, and it was put up in error. They thought it was already approved, and it's not. So it must have a special use to be allowed. So that's why we're at this stage, because I'm sure if you've driven by, you've seen the electronic panel on top of the brick and mortar base. And so folks, 7B is to approve the special use so that the sign can be turned on at this point, since it's already there. And it's really not a very large message display panel. Actually, I think the display panel is smaller than the brick and mortar base. But so 7B is a electronic message display panel for the Villa Park Library. So moving on to number 8 for Monday night, which is resolutions. We have 8A, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the submission of an application to the DuPage County Community Development Commission for funding for the Harvard Avenue Water Main Project from the Community Development Block Grant Program. And folks, just as a reminder, we will have a public hearing at 6:45 Monday for this item, and then after the hearing, then we'll talk about the project again. So the background for this is that staff wishes to submit an application for grant funding for the construction of the Harvard Avenue Water Main Project through the Community Development Block Grant Program. The project would consist of the replacement of the existing water main on North Harvard Avenue from Jefferson Park to Plymouth Street. The estimated total cost of the project is $540,000. Staff hopes to apply for grant funding in the maximum amount of $400,000, or approximately 74% of the estimated cost of construction. Funding for the village's share of the project cost would be provided by either the water supply fund or utility tax. And so folks, this is a water main project in Harvard, so it's a replacement of a 4-inch water main with an 8-inch ductile iron main. And so what a great project. If we were able to obtain $400,000 in a grant for a $540,000 project, that'd be awesome. So hopefully we can accomplish that. So moving on to 8B, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the submittal of an application to the DuPage County Community Development Commission for the funding of the 3rd Avenue Combined Sewer Separation Project through the Community Development Block Grant Program. And folks, this is the second project that we'll be talking about at the public hearing at 6:45 on Monday. So folks, the background for this particular project is that the staff wishes to submit an application for grant funding for the construction of the 3rd Avenue Combined Sewer Separation Project through the Community Development Block Grant Program. The project would consist of the separation of the existing combined sewer main on North 3rd Avenue, from Holly Court to Division Street. The estimated total cost of the construction is estimated at $565,000. So staff would apply for grant funding in the maximum amount of $400,000, or approximately 71% of the estimated cost of construction. Funding for the village's share of project costs would be provided by either the wastewater fund, sewer separation, or utility sales tax. So folks, this is another great project that hopefully the grant will be funded at a maximum of $400,000, and this is a 900-foot length of storm sewer that would be separated and then installed. So like I said, another great project. Hopefully we'd be so lucky as to get both of these projects funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program. So moving on to 8C for Monday night, September 9th, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a Metra coffee shop lease. So folks, the background for this is that for the past 2 years, Dawn Larson has owned and operated the coffee shop in the Metro station. Ms. Larson has decided to sell the business in order to pursue other opportunities. Staff has met with an individual that has extensive restaurant experience and is interested in operating the Metro coffee shop. If this lease agreement is approved, the coffee shop will be reopened as Marrakesh Express Cafe. So folks, Monday night we'll be talking about a lease agreement for an individual interested in operating the Metro coffee shop. And you're probably thinking, geez, I've never been there. So if you go into the Metro station, there's a small coffee shop located in the corner. And as staff, we talk about, we like to have folks there renting the coffee shop or operating the coffee shop, if you will, for another set of eyes to help folks transition to the trains or help them purchase tickets or answer questions. And so this agreement will be for $130 a month, about $500 for a deposit. And we just appreciate somebody being there, like I mentioned, to help our residents use the train system. We're not there to make a profit or anything like that. And it's not an easy endeavor to make a profit, to have a coffee shop on the premises. It's not an easy restaurant type coffee shop operation to operate, because the trains are going into Chicago or on the opposite side of the tracks. They're not near the station itself, and then the trains going out west are next to the station. So it's a little different, and so folks are always worried about missing the train into Chicago and sometimes don't have time to come in for a cup of coffee. So hopefully we can change that in the future. So again, folks, 8C is a lease agreement for an individual who wants to operate the Metro coffee shop. So 8D for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving change order number 1 to the contract with Aqua Contractors Corp. of Elmhurst, Illinois, for construction of the Princeton Avenue Improvement Project for a deduction in the amount of $11,735.39. So folks, the background for this item is that the village has a contract with Aqua Contractors Corp. of Elmhurst, Illinois, in the amount of $915,000 for construction of the Princeton Avenue Improvement Project. Proposed change order number 1 consists of the balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field to date. The net amount of proposed change order number 1 is a deduction in the amount of $11,735.39 for an adjusted contract amount of $903,264.61. So folks, we have this contract with Aqua Contractors Corp., and they're finishing the Princeton Avenue Improvement Project, and this is change order number 1. We've measured quantities in the field. To date, the project's not finished, but close. So this is change order number 1. So what we want to do is finalize change order number 1, have it approved by the board, release some funds to Aqua Contractors, and then we'll come back and do final change order number 2 when the project is completed and the punch list items are done. And which should not be too far away, because the pavement for the project should be finished next week. I think landscaping is being done this week, so it's almost finished. It'll be beautiful when it's finished. So moving on to 8E for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a contract with Globe Construction, Inc. of Addison, Illinois, for construction of the 2019 sidewalk program in an amount not to exceed $74,993.38. So I'm going to be switching papers here. So folks, the background on this particular item is that staff proposes the replacement of substandard public sidewalk at various locations throughout the village as part of the 2019 sidewalk program. The village previously awarded a contract to Globe Construction for its 2018 sidewalk program on the basis that Globe was the low bidder for a competitive joint bidding process held by the Village of Woodridge. The terms and conditions of the 2018 competitive joint bid allow for multi-year extensions to the contract as long as the extensions reflect the same bid prices submitted as part of the 2018 competitive joint bidding process. Staff has requested 2 proposals from Globe Construction, with one for $74,993.38 and the other for $49,977.97. While $50,000 has been budgeted for this project, the higher proposal could allow the village to complete additional sidewalk replacement under the program if desired. Staff recommends approving a contract with Globe Construction for the 2019 sidewalk program in an amount not to exceed $74,993.38. These funds are budgeted for sidewalk replacement in calendar year 2019 in Capital Projects Fund account number 64-502-10-299. So folks, we have $50,000 budgeted for this current calendar year budget. Staff proposes spending or expending, if you will, $74,993.38, which is almost $25,000 more. And folks, and by doing that, we'll kind of help catch up on the sidewalk construction backlog. So we have a backlog of sidewalk replacements. And what I'm talking about is the 50-50 sidewalk program, where the village pays for 50% of the sidewalk replacement, and then the property owner pays the other 50%. So by expending another $25,000, we can get more sidewalks replaced throughout the village. And hopefully the board will approve that Monday night, and then we'll move forward and finish up our 2019 sidewalk replacement program. And then hopefully we'll budget more money for the 2020 sidewalk replacement program. So moving on to 8F for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving final change order number 1 to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and Dendler, Inc. for the 2019 crack sealing and seal coating services project. So folks, the background for this project is the village has a contract with Dendler, Inc. of Joliet, Illinois for the 2019 crack sealing and seal coating services project. Final change order number 1 consists of the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. Total deductions to the contract equal $4,800. Additions to the contract also equal $4,800. Therefore, the net amount of proposed final change order number 1 is 0 for an adjusted final contract amount of $40,200. As approved by the board in April of 2019, this budgeted expense will be taken from Street Improvement Fund account number 60-502-02299. So folks, the 2019 crack sealing and seal coating services project is complete. So we've measured all the quantities in the field that we've used, and we used more quantities of a sealer than we did the concrete, or vice versa. And so we're just balancing the quantities, which was previously approved by the board. So $4,800 was a deduction, and $4,800 was an addition. So it balances out at 0. But we just need final board approval for that change, and then it'll be done for the year. So folks, we're moving on to number 9 for Monday night, which is public comments on non-agenda items. That's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium, be recognized by the village president, and have comments which are not on the agenda for that Monday night. Number 10 is the village clerk's report. Number 11 is the village trustees report. Number 12 would be the village president's report. Number 13 would be the village manager's report. Number 14 is the executive session. And folks, we may or may not have an executive session, but just in case, it's on the agenda. So we have 14A, pursuant to general provisions of the Open Meetings Act. We have A, 5 ILCS 120-2C1, personnel matters. We have C2, collective bargaining matters. We have C5, purchase or lease of property. We have C6, sale or lease of property. We have C11, pending litigation. And then we have C21, discussion of closed session minutes. So again, folks, right now I'm not sure if we're going to go into executive closed session or not, but we do not have any action items after that. So number 15 is adjournment. So folks, remember though, so on Monday, September 9th, at 6:45, we'll have a public hearing for 2 projects that we want to have grant applications submitted to the Community Development Block Grant Program. And then at 7 o'clock starts the formal agenda, as we always do. And there's some great items that could have some good discussion. So if you have some time, please come in person or tune in to our cable television channels and kind of watch it as it proceeds. So again, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the village manager for the Village of Villa Park. Take care, and I hope to see you soon.